We're live? Okay, sweet. Awesome, possum. So, everybody wants to take note of how fast Elmo moves. This is Elmo's normal speed. For speedrunning in this game, we're going to be abusing the speed. Like, basically, Elmo's speed isn't programmed with a cap, and on every N64 game, you can use you can press L, R, and start at the same time to recenter your joystick. And when you recenter your joystick and say, like, if you're holding down and then you recenter your joystick, if you, like, essentially that'll just put your centered position to all the way down. So if you hold down, that will just keep you in place. But if you let go of your joystick, that'll just hold up, essentially. So the reason why we use this is to, if we press in the opposite direction of where we recentered, we can actually get double the speed of what we're normally supposed to be able to do. So we're going to be abusing that throughout the run. And yeah, so we're going to get started here. Timing will start once I select the difficulty. There's only 3 difficulties. There's easy, medium, and hard. Easy is just the fastest because you don't have to get as many numbers, and there's also like some little tiny differences that make it better than running on hard or medium. But yeah, I will say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we will start on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So first, I'm going to recenter my joystick to the left because we need to walk over to Ernie here. So we want to have as much speed as we can to get to him and talk to him. And we have to actually stop to a dead stop right before we get into front of a character, or else Elmo won't talk to them. So we want to do that as fast as we can. And then in the cutscenes, we can actually recenter our joystick again so that we get it to the position we want. So I recenter my joystick all the way back here so that I get forward speed. And so, yeah. On easy, the numbers have no collision or anything like that. And they're just simple numbers, so it's pretty easy to figure out where everything I need to grab and where everything is. As you can see, the camera has a really hard time keeping up with the extra speed that we have. So that's the first level. Yeah, it's not programmed to keep up with the speed, so it struggles quite a bit. So yeah, and this level is the bump car level. This level doesn't benefit from having any speed like recentered anywhere, so essentially we just want to play this level like normal. There's only like a certain amount of patterns that you can get for the numbers, so if you can like see which few numbers that you can see at the beginning that you need to grab, like that'll kind of determine what pattern you have. Like you can kind of tell which pattern you have with that. So here's the boss. The bosses, all we need to do is essentially just like answer these questions correctly, but we actually don't need to answer the first 2 out of the 3 questions right. So if we have any answer that's over 2 for the first 2 answers, it's actually nice. While I say that, it's actually faster to only throw 1 and then pull this thing here to answer the question wrong. The last answer is the only one that matters. Luckily we got 2. You can get you can get between 1 and 9. And if you get 9 at the last as the last answer that you need, that takes a ridiculous amount of time. It takes like 3 seconds almost per throw. So if you get 1, that's the best RNG. If you get like a lower than 3, it's usually pretty good. Sorry, there's like a lot to explain in this amount of time. So we're done with Ernie. Now we need to go do Cookie Monster really quick, because I usually do him second just because his movement in the overworld, the movement to him in the overworld's a little harder than Ernie. Anyway, so I guess there's not really a ton else to explain for this run. We just need to just move correctly and make sure that we I mean, since we're on easy, it's really hard to lose a run. We just want to try and make sure we get all the numbers as quickly as you can. I make sure to recenter my joystick backwards here. It doesn't help as much as far as speed, but when we're going up these like hills in this level, it actually gets us over the hill a lot better than if we didn't have forward momentum. So one thing that's like it's good that we have the extra forward speed, but the one thing that is a downside to having it is that we actually if we need to go backwards, that's actually a lot more difficult. Since like if my joystick is recentered downwards, we can't really move down at all, so we have to kind of circle around to try and get back to where we need to go. And if we get like stuck on something, which is very easy to do with extra speed, then it's kind of it takes a little bit of time to get out of wherever we are, like whatever we're stuck on. Let's see, where is that last 7? Okay, there it is. I was gonna say I might have passed it, but that was just bad RNG. So as you might be able to tell, the boss levels are pretty much like the most costly, I guess, sections. If we have bad RNG in these sections, that can just waste a lot of time. But yeah, Elmo needs to feed the RNG gods, so hopefully they'll be pleased and give us a good number as our last number. Nice, we got a 1 here. That's actually really good. That saves us two pulls on this string here. Hopefully the last number is good. 9, nice. 9 is the worst RNG we can get. Now we have, since this is the last question, we have to answer this one correctly, or else we don't pass this section. And we have to do the whole section all over again. So this wastes, let's see, compared to 1, it wastes a good, like 30 seconds almost. It's sad, but it happens. It is a dumb speed game, so... So if you get too disappointed, maybe shouldn't run this game. I don't know. It's a grind heavy game, but it's a fun speed game just because like the extra speed kind of makes it interesting. Anyway, so now we're to our final level here, or person that we need to talk to. We need to talk to Count here, and he probably has like the most difficult levels for movement. At least his first level is. So on hard, typically we'll actually do Count first, but I usually do Ernie first on easy just because the movement in the overworld to Ernie is a little bit harder than the other characters. Big quotes on that maze, by the way. This is literally, this whole course is just a straight path, like, well, not a straight path, but there is no maze part about it, really. So one thing that we can do to try and make sure that our camera doesn't get too out of skew. I actually just passed by this 3. So this is one of the downsides to having this forward momentum, is I have to do like a full circle, and that takes so long to turn around. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying a second ago, but let's keep going. So when I turn this corner here, I usually try to guess and see if there is the number that I need there. Luckily there was, so it was worth. Nice. Pass by this number too. This is a bad run already, lol. But yeah, that's just one of the bigger downsides again to having forward momentum. Like extra forward momentum is passing by numbers that you need and then having to go back and get them. So this maze was pretty bad, but either way, we still have plenty of time. Because when I submitted this, I submitted probably over a minute of estimate that I didn't need 13. I probably needed only like 12, but either way, we're almost done. This level isn't quite as bad. One thing that sucks is these paintings on the walls have collision detection, so if you run into them, you can actually get stuck on them, and that wastes a ton of time. Like, getting stuck at all can be really costly, especially if it's on something that pretty much just doesn't let you go. When you get to that point, then you have to like recenter your joystick again. And if you recenter your joystick while not in a cutscene, you end up you have to pause the game, and pausing the game takes a really long time, because every time you pause the game, Elmo has to like tell you, oh hey, if you want to unpause the game, press these buttons here, and he spends like 5 seconds explaining that. So it takes a really long time to recenter your joystick if you do that. Nice, we got a 1. Hopefully we don't get a 9 again. We got a 3. Nice. So time comes up whenever I pull the bell here on this last one, on this last question. So it's coming up in about like 3, 2, 1. Bam. Time. And that's Elmo's number journey. Yay.
I could count on you.
So I pulled a couple of dumbs, but it works. It's a thing. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Up next is what is it? Donkey Kong 5: The Journey of Over Time and Space. That's probably my favorite Donkey Kong ever. I think everyone enjoys that.
Alright. So,